So we're going to be using the same figure for number 1, so I'm going to draw that now. Triangle STW and triangle PRQ. So PRQ STW. Okay, number 1. Triangle STW is congruent to what triangle? Triangle. So S is congruent to Q, so you'd write Q. T is congruent to P, so you'd write P. And W is congruent to R, so you'd write R. So the answer is triangle STW is congruent to triangle QPR. Number 2, triangle PQR is congruent to a triangle, and you can use the figure above. Since P corresponds to T above, you write T. Since Q corresponds to S above, you write S and W. Number 3, angle R corresponds to what angle? So R corresponds to angle W. And you, once again, can refer to 1 and 2. Number 4, RP is congruent to what line segment? So RP corresponds to TW right, or WT right above. So now we're going to use another figure for numbers 11 through 14. So here's the figure I'm drawing. So it's E, R, V, and then the smaller triangle is E, S, T. And so there's 3, 1, 2, 4. Okay, number 11. It asks, if angle 3 and angle is congruent to angle 4, then which segments must be congruent? So, if angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, then segment RE must be congruent to segment VE. Number 12. If triangle REV is an equiangular triangle, then triangle REV is also a equilateral triangle. Number 13 is, if ES is congruent to ET, measurement angle 1 is 75 and measurement of angle 2 equals 3x, then what's x? So to find angle, so if ES and ET are congruent, then angle 1 and angle 2 would be congruent as well. So you just find what 3 times x equals, and what 3 times x equals 75, and 3 times x, and so x would equal 25. For number 14, it's asking if angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent, ES equals 3y plus 5 and ET equals 25 minus y, then y equals what? So you would just set equal to each other, 3y plus 5 and 25 minus y, and you would get the answer y equals 5. So for 18, it's kind of confusing, so it's going to take me a second to draw, so here we go. So there's 1, so point FJ, E, and There's another perpendicular. These lines are congruent. And D, L, K, F. Okay, so we have this figure we use for 18. So it says refer to triangle DEF and name each of the following. So 18A is find an altitude, and so since an altitude comes from a vertex, then this would be an altitude right here. So triangle, so the answer for A is LE, segment LE. B is a median. So B, a median is like a perpendicular, but it creates a right angle. So an example of a median is DG. For C, the perpendicular bisector of a side of an angle of the side of a triangle. So that would be this entire line right here. So the answer is FE. For number 19, it says point G lies on the perpendicular line of EF. Write the theorem that justifies the statement GE equals EF. So, if a point lies on the perpendicular bisector of a segment, then the point is equidistant from the end point of the segment. My bad, endpoints of the segment. Number 20 says a triangle ABC and ABD are congruent right angles with common hypotenuse and B. Write the theorem that allows you to conclude that point B lies on the bisector of DAC. So, to begin, I drew out the figure. So, triangle ABC and triangle ABD, they share a hypotenuse. And so, for number 20, the same applies. If a point lies on the perpendicular bisector of a segment, then the point is equidistant from the endpoints of the segment.